Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Packer Transplants Live. I am Aaron Nagler, and I am joined, as always, by Mr. Corey Behnke, my partner here at Cheesehead TV. We are coming to you from the Live X studio in Midtown Manhattan, and we are ready to talk some Packers. What do we have on tap today, Corey?
Today, we'll celebrate the Packers' 2-0 start.
Woo!
Wow. Let's just pour
Bask
one out
in
for that.
Hey.
And look ahead to week with 2 games. 1 week, 2 games. I like it. But right now, it's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. We got the good. We got
Kevin King's interception in the end zone.
We got the bad. We got
Geronimo Allison's fumble.
We got the ugly. We got
Purple in the stands.
Purple.
What in the entire hell, Corey? How are you, sir? Corey Behnke.
Wow.
It's been a minute.
Maybe we should do a show every 2 weeks. If it means the Packers are going to win
go
2 games,
2-0
I like it.
every time.
I like it. I got too many Philadelphia Eagles fans around me. JB, I'm talking to you. I got too many Dallas Cowboy fans. I got too many New York Giants fans.
It ain't right.
So little
right.
love for the Green Bay Packers in the national media.
I mean,
Number 7 in power rankings, right before a 1-1 team. At least we're ahead of the Bills. I mean,
Corey has grievances, is what he's trying to say.
This is a world made for a Packers fan.
It really is.
Okay?
I mean, if you think about it, it's 2-0.
2-0.
You've beaten both of your worst rivals.
NFC North champions right now.
Okay, slow down.
Currently.
First place. They're in first place.
Currently.
You don't get crowned champion until you win it.
Hey, we're looking at it. We're looking at that throne there, buddy.
How was your first Lambeau game this
great.
year? How'd it go?
It's great.
Good stuff? Good times?
Loved it.
I will say, you and Rachel, you throwed a whiz-bang of a tailgate out there.
Wow.
So, Corey, like...
Okay, getting up at 8 o'clock. Okay, here's the thing.
So early.
Getting up and having the new tradition of a 8 a.m. old-fashioned or Bloody Mary.
David, thank you for the super chat.
That's really hard to sustain throughout the day. Let me just say that right now. Like right about, I don't know, the game was over and it was like an hour after the game was over. And you just kind of like start to fall apart. You're just like, I can't sustain this anymore.
You were so gone. By the middle part of the evening, you were just done.
The game was amazing,
over.
though.
Game was awesome. And we'll get to it.
I remember
but
that.
First, before we get
We have some graphics. That's cool.
Before we get to, all the fun stuff, you got to take your medicine.
There's some news.
Got to talk some Packers news with some breaking news.
Broke like 15 minutes ago.
Breaking news just before we went live. The Packers have traded Trevor Davis, their kick return specialist, to the Oakland Raiders. No word yet on compensation that I've seen. It will undoubtedly come out soon enough. But Trevor Davis, who had a piss-poor game against the Vikings, can't sugarcoat it, and I thought maybe something was up when they picked up Tremont Smith off of waivers, which we have later in this package. I'm sorry, but I have to talk about it because he's a kick return specialist. And now Trevor Davis has been moved to Oakland. So adieu to Trevor Davis, who is the only NFL player I have ever witnessed field a punt inside the end zone. A very special, historic moment down there in Soldier Field. So Trevor Davis, no longer a Packer. Anything to add to that, Mr. Behnke?
Zero. I mean, look, like I remember training camp, and I felt like he has a lot of upside. I still think he has a lot of upside.
He's got speed. It just never seems to translate from scrimmage. Like it helped him in return, but it didn't really ever seem to do anything for him from scrimmage. And look, if you're going to be singular in your ability to help the team, you better do that one single thing exceptionally well. And while he could show flashes from time to time, he was nowhere near consistent enough. And when you're making really bad mistakes like calling for a fair catch and then engaging in a block, which, oh, by the way, is illegal, and will draw a flag, as it did against the Vikings, and or fielding a punt when there's a dude like 3 inches away from your face and possibly, putting yourself in a position where you could fumble and hurt the team.
Yep.
I mean, I just think Brian Gutekunst had seen enough at this point throughout all his tenure. He brought in...
That was it.
I mean, it really was.
If you can't do this...
If you can't do your one job and you can't do it very extremely well when it's what we've allowed you to focus on, then it's time to move on.
Well, do you think that this opens up some room for Kumaro?
From scrimmage, possibly, because Davis had taken the very few crumb-like snaps at wide receiver 4. Davis had been the one getting most of those.
So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get touchdown Jesus on the field a little bit more.
I would like that. Maybe we can. Oh, I know they were getting to offense.
That's bit of a downer on the news front is the news that Raven Green being placed on injured reserve with that ankle injury. It sure didn't look good when it happened. So I don't think anybody was surprised by this news, but it is a bit of a blow for a team that utilized that third safety a lot.
Yeah.
Mike Pettin used him a lot, and he was very effective. It's a real bummer. Raven's a great guy. Wish him all the best, speedy recovery. Hopefully, maybe he's eligible to come back after week 10.
Nice.
So maybe, hopefully, he gets healed up and they bring him back later in the year.
That would be cool.
It's a possibility.
With that said, in 2 games, besides the Raven Green injury,
Right. They've been good. They've been very good. I mean,
so
knock
far,
on
knock on something that's
everything.
wood or whatever.
Everything. Knock on it all.
You know, but you look at the league.
Comparatively to the
wow.
league, yeah.
What
it's
are there,
like
7 starting quarterbacks are out right
I mean,
now?
you look at the quarterback
It's ridiculous.
situations. You look at teams like the Jets, who had like 100 people hurt all of a sudden last week. Yeah, no, the Packers are doing well in that regard. The Packers, as I just mentioned, claimed Tremont Smith off of waivers from the Chiefs. And if you're wondering why, like I indicated, Trevor Davis's performance probably left this door open. And then when they saw Smith was available, just a point of reference here for you about, who's going to be doing the returning going forward. Smith returned 33 kicks last year for 886 yards. That's a 26.8 yard average,
pretty good.
including a career-long 97-yard return at New England in Week 16. Or Week 6, sorry. How long has it been since we had a 97-yard return? It's been a while.
A long time.
His 26.8 yard average per kickoff return ranked number 4 in the NFL. I mean, that's
I feel like the
insert
last time-
returner.
What was the kid who unfortunately had that like season-ending injury, and we saw him do one really long return, and then he basically like was out of a game? And this was like 6 or 7 years ago.
I don't remember.
He literally went out. He never played NFL again. But that's probably the last time you asked.
Right.
When
It's
the last
been
time.
a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Speaking of injuries, Darnell Savage is not expected to miss any time. There was some consternation after the game against Minnesota. He was spotted with a walking boot leaving the locker room. But as Rob Domofsky of ESPN reported, he was kicked in the shin. It's mostly precautionary. He's not expected to miss the game against the Broncos. So that's good news. And because of all of the walking wounded, and they do have an extensive injury list, nothing jumps out as majorly serious, although Jimmy Graham is dealing with a groin injury and didn't participate in today's walkthrough.
Right.
They did a walkthrough because so many guys are banged up, and they have 2 games, as you mentioned at the top. They have 2 games next week. So it sounds like LaFleur trying to keep things fresh, trying to keep things a little not as burdensome during the week.
I mean,
so change Wednesday from a
Here's
practice
what's
to a
crazy,
walkthrough.
Okay, having a game on a Sunday and then a game on a Thursday. I can't even get my own life together to
Yes.
be ready for 2 games.
Yes. You, as a fan, who literally your responsibility is to drink and enjoy the game.
Eat bratwurst,
I mean-
and enjoy the game. And I'm like, holy crap,
I'm like,
this is amazing.
how am I going to manage this?
How am I going to manage
Right.
this?
Exactly.
I can't imagine doing
By the way,
that as like
across
a
the
coach.
street from your house where you're doing this is an entire NFL franchise having to gear up for 2 fucking
Yeah.
games in a week.
It is true they're made for it. I like to say
It's crazy,
I
though.
like to say it's insane.
I mean, just the
It's
logistics
insane.
of it
The
is
logistics,
crazy.
everything. Well, you know, I like to tell people like I feel like the NFL schedule is going. It is one of the few things you can guarantee is going to happen.
Yep. No matter what.
Doesn't matter what's going to happen. You're going to play games.
Your life is you're like going to
might
ebb
delay
and
the
flow, and there's
game,
going to be
but,
thing
yep.
going up and down. Like the NFL schedule, that's your maypole. That's you just work everything around it because it's going to happen
If
regardless.
we can escape next week without a serious injury,
Yeah.
we're doing
They'll
great.
be cooking with gas, no doubt
doing
about
great.
it. Speaking of cooking with gas, the offense, the Green Bay Packers, your Green Bay Packers offense was cooking with gas for the first quarter against the Vikings. And I will say, how fucking awesome was it to be sitting there watching this team go up 21-0 against the
amazing.
Vikes? I mean, Forget everything that happened afterwards.
Yeah.
Just bottle that feeling.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I love it. I love it when you can like take for granted that we're gonna win. It's such a great feeling.
It's been a while. And we couldn't. That was the thing, because it kind of all fell apart and like
No, you couldn't. I didn't take for granted.
No,
I mean, for like a hot moment, I was like, "Oh, this is nice." What's that? I remember what that felt like.
But then I just wanted to tell people, look, I understand they didn't go on and score any more points. And it was funny. I said to someone afterwards, like, just imagine you read that in the box score the next day. Say you missed the game. You're overseas, whatever, blah, blah. And you see the Packers. You open your local paper, and the Packers have won 21-16. You'd be elated. Yeah. You're 2-0.
Yep.
Things are awesome.
Yep.
But because you saw them burst out of the gate for 21 points and then not score anymore, everyone's all upset. Oh, the offense is all broken and it doesn't work and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no. That first quarter, that was a window into the future.
I hope so.
It was a window
I'm
into
excited
the possibilities.
Because Nagler,
yeah.
I went over to the NFL.com.
Wait, Corey, I'm sorry. It sounds like you did research.
Stats section.
Did you do some research?
I did a hot for a hot second. So I'm like looking at the offense, okay? The team offense. Okay, and points were 27th, and yards were 29th, and pass yards are 26th, and where rush yards are 19th. Whoa. So yeah,
All right.
I feel like, that we're shaking off the preseason. If you're shaking off the preseason and you're 2-0,
week 2 and you're 2-0.
Good. You're not the Patriots,
But that's what the Patriots do. Remember last year? They got destroyed by the Lions early in the season. And everyone's like, oh, what's wrong with the Patriots? This is what they do. They work shit out early in the year.
Patriots are like,
and now they're like,
they just destroyed everybody.
They're going to walk to the AFC Championship game. I think the Chiefs are probably the only ones that can stop them.
I hope they stop.
Regardless, it depends on injuries, obviously.
Of course,
that's
of course.
the great
That's where
equalizer.
it looks in week 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Going into week 3.
But yes, the Packers, it's just a window. Get ready. They're getting ready to wreck the league. I'm here to tell you.
I'm ready.
Relax.
I'm ready to tell Rob Domofsky that we actually have weapons. I have held back tweets to Domofsky to be like, oh, look at the weapons.
I have held back
because I remember him being on a show, and he was like, I'm not sure that the Green Bay Packers have enough weapons.
That's a really good imitation of Rob Domofsky.
Pretty good,
that was pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It wasn't terrible.
I'm not hating it. It's pretty good. It's pretty excellent.
But I hold on to these
weapons
things,
are one thing, but none of the weapons work. None of the weapons get the ball in their hands without something along the front, along the offensive front. And I don't think anybody watching the Packers with any kind of semblance of a critical eye would not point out the fact that they're having some issues inside. Both guard spots have been up and down. I'd say Billy Turner has been probably a little bit better, but not by much, over Lane Taylor. And Lane Taylor is in an open competition for his job with Elton Jenkins, the rookie. And I got to say, listening to Matt LaFleur today saying he was fired up watching Elton Jenkins, and then looking at the tape, it's only a matter of time. I mean, I'll be surprised if Jenkins doesn't play the majority of the game against the Broncos. Right now, he's just, I think, a slightly better player. And I think Lane has battled. I think he's given him what he's got. I just think what Jenkins offers is a little better. And look, if I'm being totally honest, I think Jenkins could probably replace either guard. But, Lane Taylor's the one he's been competing with, and they pay Billy Turner a bunch of money. Yeah. So it's not like you're going to suddenly pull Billy Turner.
Yeah.
And it's funny, too, because I think it's kind of affected Corey Linsley. Like, I had a bunch of people in my mentions on Sunday, and then I went back and watched the game because people were like, oh, and Corey's been bad, too. And I was like, yeah, I've seen him beat once or twice. But if you'll notice, he's always going to help somebody. He's always looking to, help. Actually, funnily enough, he's mostly looking to help Turner, but he has helped Lane a couple times. But you have to think that he's kind of in his head a little bit because he knows
he doesn't know
he's not solid on either side of him.
The hole's bigger than just him.
Yeah, so I think it's affecting his play a little bit.
I could see that.
I will admit
it, but I don't go back and I go back and watch games, but I just let them play. I'm not like Oh my goodness, talk about breaking down line play. Does it feel like every channel is a film analysis on Twitter right now?
Oh yeah,
there's so
Twitter
much.
Feed
It's amazing. I love it.
Last night, because the All 22 comes out, and then all the film geeks go to town, and then your whole feed is just nothing but play breakdowns.
Got it.
That's why. So it's like, and I love it.
This morning I woke up and I was just watching plays and I was like, oh, this is sweet. I was like, this is nice.
It's great because you get a little kind of replay of the game.
It just feels like there's a lot more.
It's just
than
there's so many people doing it, and that's what people have asked me. Like, why don't you do it anymore? I'm like, have you looked at Twitter? Like,
have you seen Ben Fennell?
There's no reason for me to do it anymore. Like, I feel literally no reason.
I feel like there's Ben Fennell. And then
there's everybody else. Oh, it's so true. We'll be using some of Ben's fine work in our defensive segment.
Yeah, sweet.
But to wrap up on offense, can we let the wide receivers develop, please? If I see another, MVS isn't stepping up. He's played 2 games against 2 of the best defenses, and he's been productive for the most part when the ball is thrown to him. He's caught more than he's, like, not gotten open or whatever. Like, can we just let it go? Like,
yeah, I don't
Does
understand.
anyone remember Davante Adams in his second season? And how y'all wanted him cut and just benched and whatever?
I don't feel like the wide receivers have been that bad.
They're not. They're not at all. And here's the other thing. Like, you can look at the breakdowns that we've been talking about on Twitter, and you will see plays where MVS is open.
Yeah.
And Aaron either turns it down or doesn't look that way, but he's doing fine.
Yeah.
He's doing fine, as is everybody else. John Allison is fine outside of the fumble, outside of not getting a first down when the ball is thrown to him, 3rd and 1 behind the sticks. Got to get upfield, my son. But, for the most part, these guys are fine. Let them develop.
There's nothing egregiously crazy happening with the wide receivers.
And people are like, they got to bring in somebody. I'm like, so bring in somebody.
Who are they going to bring in?
Oh, whoever. I trade for AJ Green is the new one. And I'm like, can we just let these guys develop?
What?
Like, you see how awesome Adams is right now? You know how he got that awesome? By playing. He didn't get that awesome by sitting on the bench. He got that awesome because he got reps.
Yeah.
Give MVS reps.
And Kumaro.
And he will be awesome.
And Kumaro.
Well, we know Kumaro's awesome. He just needs to get on the field.
But I thought you were just talking about Kumaro because you were like, get this guy some reps. It's like, yeah, get Kumaro some reps. Get him on the field.
He'll be productive once he is. Hey, can we address Matt LaFleur? Matt LaFleur, buddy.
Kumaro.
The answer to a lot of your problems. Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, we just come in here and just solve the world's problems.
The answer to your problem is probably Kumaro.
You know where they have to get better, though? You're talking about problems. They have to get better on 3rd down. Like 3rd down. Now, they're shooting themselves in the foot a lot. They're getting themselves in a lot of 3rd and longs, and that's an issue, and LaFleur's talked about it, and they were better against Minnesota, although it kind of crept back into it as the game went on.
Don't you feel like so much of the time we're not getting in 3rd down? I feel like Aaron's done it. QB1's done a better job of this, but like getting rid of the ball. Like I feel like we get to 3rd and long,
and then they get sacked.
or 3rd whatever.
Well, no, a
because
second
he's
and they
holding
get
onto
sacked.
the ball throughout the thing.
Yes.
And he's getting faster with it. He's starting to get it.
Week 2 is better than week 1,
definitely.
and that's what you got to think. You're like hoping that it's going to keep improving. And I will tell you this. I will say this, and I put this up on Twitter. My mercy, Jesus, holy Lord, was Aaron Rodgers on fire throwing the football on Sunday.
He was.
He made some of the most ridiculous throws I've ever seen him make, and I've seen every throw he's ever made.
Yeah.
He had 2 incomplete passes that were 2 of the greatest throws. Like 29 other quarterbacks are begging to make those throws. The one where he's got a guy being pushed into him, can't step into it, he's dropping back, and he like, while he's falling away, sidearm flips it across the field, 43 yards downfield for Davante Adams on a rope, like in his hand. But Harrison Smith knocks it away at the last second.
Yeah.
But that is one of the most absurd throws you'll ever see an NFL quarterback make. And he's 35 years old, just playing, just whatever. Like, it's nothing. But then you've got the boot stuff where he's like rolling left and throwing it like across his body to a Davante Adams coming across. He did it twice, once in the first quarter and then once in the fourth quarter to salt the game away. Those are incredibly ridiculous, absurd, hard, whatever you want to say, throws that he's making it look like it's nothing.
Yeah.
But
game management,
keep it up.
He can still. He has a lot to improve.
He's just got to speed it up.
It's almost like
I thought the
playing
thing helped.
Yeah, I think it's good.
It helped a little
Giving
bit.
himself shortcuts and not being like. Not getting in his own way about that.
It was funny because Troy Aikman talked about that pregame, and he said, like, when I did it, where I didn't like it is because before you get the call in your head, right? You make it in the huddle, and then you're coming up the line of scrimmage, and you're looking at the defense and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And now you're looking at the thing. And it's taking you out of the diagnosis part.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But for Rodgers, I think that might be okay thing.
Yeah.
It might get him out of his head.
Yeah,
like you're talking about.
But it's hard because it's like we're still getting to the line and waiting.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
and then he's adjusting and doing
and all those
this.
things are important. It's just sometimes it's more important to just go and do the play and get going. You know,
Yeah, I feel that.
I don't know. I think he's feeling that too. It's not a criticism. It's just
you know what I'm feeling?
what's that?
You know what I'm feeling?
No.
The defense.
Oh my goodness! Second best defense in the NFL.
In points allowed. They're number
What?
2. And the engine.
Didn't think we'd be saying that in week 2.
Nope. But the engine, the thing that drives it inside.
It's a Smith
Mr.
of some sort.
Mr. Kenny Clark.
There you
this
go.
guy. Oh my God! Can we appreciate Kenny Clark here for a moment? Aubrey, can you roll it? Can you look at this kid? Look at this guy. This is a 3-man rush that he
your favorite.
makes successful just by getting in the quarterback's face.
Your favorite.
And then look at this. This is the punch out on the Cousins sack. Look at that. Oh, it gets in there, punches out the ball. I mean, let's look at that again because it's so beautiful. 3-man rush, work of the devil, makes it successful all by himself. And then beating his man like a drum, the rookie center, getting around the wash, and then punching out the football. I mean, I love this kid. And I tell you what, he liked this tweet, ladies and gentlemen. He knows what's coming because I said they need to pay him sooner rather than later because the price is only going up. And here's Kenny Clark at home.
Like,
I mean, this kid
he
is
didn't
so
retweet
good. No, they never retweet the money stuff. Blake Martinez does the same thing. It's always like, because they don't want it's not. They don't want to be too self-promotional, but they're
retweet.
like.
I'd be like retweet with comment. Yes, please. More
Please.
money.
Only going up,
Show
buddy.
me the money, Packers. What if somebody did that?
That would be great.
That would be hilarious.
I would love it.
Show me the money.
I love that. Okay, our next bullet point on defense is just Darnell Savage because I forgot to finish the sentence. But I will say this kid has played every single snap, and he is as advertised. I mean, you talk about an eraser.
It's like he's been playing on the team for a long time.
And I had a chat with a couple guys in personnel this past week, and I was like, he has the potential to be, and I'm going to get out ahead of my sticks here. He's going to be better than Nick Collins.
Okay.
And he's going to be the best
You already got
safety
you already got
they've had since Leroy Butler.
Come on.
That's where he's headed. That's where
Really?
he's headed. He had his welcome
But
to
Nick
the
Collins was headed there too.
Well, yeah, but he's so much more physical than Collins
You
ever,
had me
ever
at better
was.
than Nick Collins though.
He's so much more of a willing tackler. The way he drives on that stuff sideline when he's playing deep, middle of the field, and then they run that outside stuff. You saw it against Chicago, you saw it against Minnesota, and he just throws himself in there. And it's like in the past, that's a 10-yard gain.
Yeah.
And now it's a 3-yard gain because you got this missile coming down. And he certainly had his welcome to the NFL moment when Dalvin Cook broke into the open field and he took kind of a weak angle and was like, oh, I think I got him. No, he's really fast. Oh, shit. And then he's off to a 75-yard touchdown. But I'm telling you, this kid is the deal. I love him. I love Savage. That's all I got to say. You mentioned the Smiths earlier, though. I'll tell you what.
The Smiths.
Za'Darius
Come on, the Smiths are the biggest thing to happen to the defense.
The
in
defense.
a long
I'll take it
time.
further. They've revitalized the entire team. Think about the energy around this team. Think about the energy around the franchise.
Like these guys just showed up and now they're doing interviews. They're like
together. They're
there.
on the video board going, "Come on, guys, get up!" Like they just arrived in Green Bay and it's like, "Oh, this is our town. We own it."
They did. They really did.
I know.
They really
I'm not being like. Yes.
They really did.
They walked in, Za'Darius with his awesome smile.
Yep.
Preston with his, I'll play off you, buddy. Let's go get it. How great is it?
But I don't think
I
don't think any offense. I definitely don't think the Bears or the Vikings really knew what was going on with that. Like
at all. I think the NFL has been put on notice. The Smiths are
like
here.
it.
This charming man, last night I dreamt somebody loved me. How soon is now? Pick a Smith song. It applies. I don't know how, but I'll work it out.
no one knows any Smith songs.
Everybody knows Smith songs.
No one.
Good
You just
Lord.
aged yourself.
Corey Behnke. No, remember on my Insta a couple months ago, because I always put up music on my Insta, and some guy DM'd me and was like, Nagler, I love it when you put up music, but nobody knows who any of these bands are. And that was after I put up the Smiths. I was like, oh no.
No one knows.
That's unfortunate.
No one knows.
Talk about unfortunate. BJ Goodson, who the Packers traded for? Inside linebacker.
Not so much.
Yikes. Okay, that's yikes is probably a little heavy, probably a little much, but man, didn't love it. Didn't love it. Wasn't too excited about it.
No.
The book on him, he's a thumper. He's a guy who can help you in the run game. A bit lost in coverage. Check. Like, he just didn't look great.
You know who's not lost in coverage?
Who's that?
Kevin King.
Kevin King. How great was it? Kevin King responded to the clip of us watching him drop the interception in Chicago.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. And he said, my bad, I owe you one. I fuck with the enthusiasm, though. I was like, yeah, thanks, buddy. But then on Sunday...
He threw an F-bomb? I didn't even see that.
Oh, yeah, on Twitter. Yeah. And
To
then,
you?
Yeah.
How come I didn't see that?
I don't know, because you're not on Twitter a lot. Probably.
No, but
'Cause
was
you're
I
working.
in it?
You're working.
I don't think I was
not in
it.
the tweet.
I think it was
no.
like a retweet with comment or something.
Yeah. Well, it was a response to my tweet where I said he's
Gotcha.
taking minutes off our life.
Gotcha.
Or years off our life.
Gotcha.
But then I said, I see you in response to that after he picked it off on Sunday. And then he said, I told you I was going to get you one.
There you go.
Because I owed you one. Yeah. Love me some Kevin King. I think it's time.
It's time.
You think it's time?
Yep.
Let's do it.
This week in the Packer blogosphere.
That's right. It's the return of that venerable series this week in the Packer blogosphere. Behnke, it's good to have it back. Good to hear Mike Abbott back on the mic. Always good. Well, anything happen in the Packer blogosphere this week?
Something happened last night.
Something happened last night? What happened? I missed it.
You texted me, actually. That's how I knew it happened.
God.
I guess he
So,
got...
let me just lay out the scene here,
Did Dez
right?
drop it?
Let me just lay it out. So, yeah, you're a man of advancing age. You're at home alone. You're rewatching the Packer game. You're answering things on Twitter. And then all of a sudden you get a retweet from Dez Bryant when you said the last thing the Packers need is Dez, or Dez is the last thing the Packers need.
Yep.
Which he quote tweeted, "You could do better." Which was nowhere near my contention.
No.
But as I was saying earlier in the program, let these guys develop. You don't need Dez Bryant. I advocated for Dez Bryant 2 years ago, but not now. And so I responded, no, MVS could. And then Corey Behnke had the mic drop of responses. Dez dropped it, FYI.
FYI is the best part.
But then, okay, so I didn't put it up here in the graphic, but then Dez went on to continually quote tweet me and get
he kept doing
nastier
it?
and nastier.
Oh, I didn't even see
and
it.
nastier. You didn't see it?
I didn't see all the other ones.
Oh, my
I saw all the Dallas trolls that were
There were
I'm
plenty
a
of them.
Dallas troll.
Yeah, I
Dude, you
texted
just-
literally after his first tweet. That's when I texted you and I said, "Okay, Dez Bryant just came after me on Twitter. It's about to get shut down," because I knew it was just going to be stupid.
Yeah.
But so then, he responded with, when I said no, MVS would be. He said, "I love his game and he should play. But check this out, dickhead. If you do your research, I've stated recently and a long time ago, I wouldn't join the Packers based off the history. Don't try to play me, scum." Because I said Dez is the last thing they need. I'm scum. Got it.
Wait.
Thanks, coach.
You gotta. What's the scum and villainy quote?
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. That's me. I am Mos Eisley Spaceport, apparently.
To Dez Bryant, you
To
are.
Dez Bryant. And then I said, because, then he told someone later on that he was at home eating pasta, playing video games. He doesn't have a care in the world, blah, 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 blah. And then he's on Twitter calling me a dickhead.
In scum.
So I'm like, thank you. And I really just responded, thanks for proving my original point. Which was, you really think Brian Gutekunst is bringing in a dude who's just eating pasta and playing video games and shit posting bloggers on Twitter?
Yeah.
Everything we know about Brian Gutekunst the last 2 years, that's the guy that he's going to go
Exhibit A.
sign. Give me a fucking break. So thanks for proving my point. To which he responded, "How? LOL. You're a dickhead. Why did I receive the mention? Obviously somebody added me, and you mentioned me with a slick comment." The slick comment being, Dez is the last thing they need. I didn't prove nothing to you. You never cut one of my checks. Go check yourself, LOL. Oh, I never cut one of your checks, Dez? That's correct. Neither did 29 other NFL owners. You know why? Because you can't play anymore. Sorry, buddy. Accept the reality. You were awesome in your day, and now you're done. And I understand that's why you're responding the way you are, because it's based out of fear. You know it's over. I'm sorry, buddy. You were awesome. Now it's over.
Can I just add one thing?
Enjoy retirement.
Can I just add one thing?
Sure.
You dropped it.
Oh, my God. I mean, I'm just minding my own business, watching the game.
You weren't minding your own business,
I was.
Nagler.
I literally was.
You were tweeting.
Yeah, it's minding my own business.
That's not minding your own business.
I wasn't tweeting at Des Bryant.
I have 67,000 followers. I'm just minding my own business.
What does the follower count have to do with anything?
I'm just saying, like, that's not minding your own business.
It
That's
is.
like
It is literally my own business. When someone says we should sign Des Bryant, and I say in response to one person, Des is the last thing they need, I am minding my own business. I am being asked a question. I am answering it. I didn't at him. I didn't try and get him involved.
I hear you.
Whatever. Hey, you know what did happen in the Packers blogosphere this week?
That was the greatest transition we've ever done.
Ever.
I wonder who wrote the two things that go together like that.
I don't know. I have no idea. But you know what? You know what happened? A new look at Cheesehead TV.
Yes.
Cheesehead TV with a soft launch on game day.
Cheeseheadtv.com. We are the only website that will soft launch a transition to a new website right before a Packers game.
Right? I mean, on the busiest
We're not afraid.
traffic day of their cycle.
We're not afraid.
We don't care.
But if you like
Clearly.
the site, please let us know. Please give us a contact.
They're letting us know.
People are letting us know. People pretty much mostly like it.
Yeah, the response has been very, very positive, and I love it. But it is so weird to have a new site. I mean, how long did we have that last look?
6 or 7 years.
I mean, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
But
maybe,
it looks
maybe
awesome.
8 years.
Hey, shout out to Alex.
Yeah.
Great job on the dev.
looks good.
It looks amazing.
But more importantly,
There we
it's
go.
really
Look at it. There you go. Look at that.
Very speedy.
Very speedy.
It's Speedy Gonzalez.
That's the old site, I think.
No, it's not.
That's the new one. I was like, wait a second.
You're like,
No, it looks hot.
wait a
It
second.
looks hot.
That's the old site.
But speaking of new stuff, new Packers stuff, we got some new Packers stuff. We got pre-release Packers stuff.
Oh.
Mark Beach, friend of show, has written a book called The People's Team. Aubrey, you get a shot of that. The People's Team, an illustrated history of the Green Bay Packers. This book, I got to tell you guys, it's absolutely amazing.
It's pretty cool.
It's amazing. Incredible job by Mark going through the entire history of the franchise. That is no easy task.
No.
As Corey Behnke will tell you.
No, and he takes it, he definitely got some input from some pretty big people.
All sorts of folks
Mark
from
used to
all
write
over
for
the
Sports
franchise.
Illustrated.
Yep.
He's worked at Players Tribune. Good dude.
Yeah, very good dude. That book is amazing.
It's really cool. I was like, are you sure you want to take this on? Like
Right.
2 years ago
That's
or whatever?
That's a pretty hefty responsibility. And he was definitely up for it. And it's incredible. Really cool artwork. Really cool.
And we're going to try to have him on the show
photos.
to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll have him
We're
on in
gonna
a
talk
couple
about-
weeks
have
before.
like a whole history.
Either right before or right after
Transplants.
the book gets released. We'll definitely do that. Maybe the bye week.
Maybe.
Oh, we'll see.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Well, let's make sure we have a show
We
first.
know we have a show next week. Maybe.
Maybe.
No, we'll have a show live
I
from
hear you.
Lambeau next Wednesday
I
night.
feel you. Hey, so last time we did Transplants, which feels like 4 million years ago.
Yes.
We were trying to take questions throughout the show, and it felt really herky-jerky, and we didn't want to do that. So we're sorry if we missed all of your questions, which we undoubtedly have, but we did want to set some time aside here at the end of the gig to interact with you guys and chat it up and see what's up and see what you guys are doing. So we're going to look at the YouTube chat here and see what's up. And I love this first quote. Invite Dez to play Madden and chill. Hey, open invitation.
Yeah,
Dez.
that would be fun, actually.
Open
That
invitation.
would be
Come
great.
out, New York, right here, Live X Studios. You can sit in the same seat that Tom Grossi sat in when I kicked his butt. You're more than welcome. That book looks sweet. Uncultured Barbarian, let me tell you, it is sweet. It is amazing. I cannot oversell this book enough. It is really cool. Does this mean Darius is a bit close to comeback? Darius. Maybe. Jimmy Graham is becoming a liability with his horrible blocking and a lack of production. Need to get Tanyan and Lewis on the field.
I would like to see Tanyan.
Tanyan needs to play more. There's no doubt about that. Lewis has played quite a bit. I will say, Graham's blocking is always going to be problematic. That's obvious. But there were actually a number of instances where he actually blocked pretty well in the run game. If you look at Aaron Jones's very first substantial gain off the right side where he goes for like 12 or even more, 15 yards, that's due to a really good seal block on Anthony Barr by Jimmy Graham. So
yeah,
that's the kind of thing that I think Brian Gutekunst is talking about or was talking about this offseason when he said he probably played a little better than you think, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, that's all well and good. But he ain't blocking Danielle Hunter.
No.
He ain't blocking Khalil Mack. And the problem is those plays are very apparent.
Yeah.
And they get replayed in slow-mo, and we see him, and then we see Aaron Rodgers get sacked. And, yeah, so then the outcry is, oh, his blocking's atrocious, which on those plays it certainly was. But he's been okay in the run game. It's just the pass pro, oh, my God. It's just hard to watch.
It is.
That is hard. Make sure if you're interested, there's a million trillion comments here. If you want, hit us up on Super Chat. It's a lot easier to sort through that way, like Chad Sanders just did. Thank you, Chad.
What's your take on the crowd noise, guys, and LaFleur really pushing to get it louder? Also miss Transplants. Glad to have you back. Thank you.
Thanks, Chad. Thanks for the Super Chat and for the sentiments. What do you think, Corey?
I think it's great.
And scene. Thanks, guys.
No, I'm just like, look, LaFleur needs to have the ability and the space to create the team in his image as much as possible. It is the Green Bay Packers, but they're a very conservative organization, but he needs to have the space to create that. So 100%, I think that when you can put your own stamp on what they do in the stadium, I think that's great. You know, and the Smith brothers, like we said, it has.
But I do love how he's kind of taken ownership of that and really pushed it. You know what I mean? Like, it's very important to him, and I love that.
And that's more important to do it from that way. Like if Mike Holmgren would have got behind G-Force, I maybe wouldn't have hated it so much.
That's probably true. But I love
the messenger is part of the thing.
I was just going to say, look at the distinction between Mike McCarthy, who always went out of his way, very classy way, of saying the fans were amazing today, or we can't thank the fans for their support enough. He would open almost every home press conference with that. Whereas LaFleur has spent the entire summer and the entire lead up to the home opener challenging the fans.
Yep.
And it's like, I'm not saying one way or the other, but that's a great distinction, and it's a way for him to kind of own that. You know what I mean? Like, say, look, Lambeau's our house. You guys got to be part of that. And I love it, man. I loved how jazzed Lambeau was on Sunday. Now, that said, home opener, Bart Starr tribute, blah, blah, blah.
A lot of things to get hyped for.
Video thing, like, okay, that's all well and good. Now, can we keep it up?
Yep.
Can Lambeau keep it up?
Dustin, thanks for the super chat.
Thanks,
what
Dustin.
do the Packers get for Trevor Davis from the Raiders? Antonio Brown's cryotherapy tank.
Which is great. I have not seen any compensation as of yet. I'm sure that will come out this evening if it hasn't already, and I just missed it. But the initial reports didn't include compensation. Tom Silverstein just tweeted out, 2 sources have confirmed that Packers wide receiver Trevor Davis has been traded to the Raiders.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks. Thanks.
Q King, thanks for the super chat. What do you think about J.K. Scott, Behnke?
He's doing okay.
You're just trolling people now.
What? He's
just
doing
trolling.
okay.
He's not okay. He's a weapon.
He's
you were talking
not
about weapons before.
He's not a weapon.
He's a weapon.
He is not a weapon. Okay, guys.
Against Chicago, his final punt of 63 yards absolutely helped seal the deal. Last week against the Vikings, he has a 9-second punt.
Not a
9
weapon.
seconds in the air to help seal the deal.
Not a weapon.
He is a weapon.
He's not a weapon.
Wander around. Thanks for the super chat.
Okay, look.
And thank you for not asking a question, because those are the super chats we love to get, because then we don't have to work for them. Joseph, thank you for the super chat. Nags, Jakeem Grant or Kenyon Drake make any sense? I mean, yeah, probably on paper, but I just don't see Gutekunst going there. You know, I really think he comes from Ted's model of grow your team together. I know he's kicked around the bottom of the roster a lot. That's very kind of Ron Wolf-esque. And it's a possibility, but I'd be surprised if Gutekunst made either of those moves. That's just me. What were you going to say, Behnke? Sorry.
Oh, I wasn't going to say anything.
Rick says, wife and I went to the last game and we yelled our asses off when the defense said to. Well, that's good. See? Participation. Wander around. Thanks for the great work, fellas. Go Pack Go. Thank you.
Oh, that's a good question about Kiki.
What's that?
What's up with not playing him?
Special teams mostly. I mean, I think it's going to come down like when Fadal Brown maybe falters a bit to the point where they want to put him up, then they'll probably make that switch. I think that's where it would happen.
He was kind of a playmaker in camp.
He very much was. He looked very good in camp. But I think right now they want to play the experience. They want to go with the guy that they saw last year when they got him off waivers from the Raiders. And I think Brown's actually held up pretty well.
Yeah.
So I don't anticipate that move being made anytime soon. But it's a numbers game ultimately. And since he's not helping you, he's not running down on coverage, on any of the coverage units. So right now it's just a numbers game. And it's good depth to have. That's the other thing. Like, look, they're playing their asses off up front. They're dominating up front. They're dominating up front. Why mess with it?
I don't understand. Why are people from Wisconsin so infatuated with punters?
How do you know they're all from Wisconsin? This is a Cheesehead TV. This is a global entity.
I feel like Wisconsin is of all. If you go, what are the top 50 states that are infatuated with punters? I feel like Wisconsin would be right at number one.
Well, maybe it's this punter in particular because of his ties to Wisconsin.
Or the fact that he was drafted
yourself.
way too high.
All right, relax. You're just so stuck on that. Who cares where he was drafted?
That is true. Well, I don't really think about where other people were drafted.
Exactly. Once they're a member of the team, they're a member of the team.
That's true.
Why
can't I get over it?
We all have our bugaboos. Yo, hey, I wanted to say, because I was talking about, you just mentioned Wisconsin, and I said international, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to say, so we've been doing the Green and Gold post-game show over on 97.3 The Game.
Yep.
Powered by Cheesehead TV, which
Nice.
they say, and it's like we don't do anything except I just show up.
You power it with your big
well,
bag
here's
of
the thing,
air
though.
that comes
So
out of
here's
your
the
body.
thing. So that first night after the Chicago game, and also after the Minnesota game, we got all sorts of calls on that show from all over the country. This is a Milwaukee radio station. It's a 414 number, and people called from everywhere. We got Arizona, we got California, we got New York, we got Florida. I just want to say, shout out to all of you guys for representing Cheesehead TV. I mean, that means a lot. And I know it wasn't because, you were just listening to 97.3 The Game in Milwaukee. You're there
think it's because
of Cheesehead TV.
Do you remember when we did Packer Transplants and we took calls? Maybe it's the pent-up rage that people feel.
That we don't do it anymore?
We stopped doing that.
Oh, man. Those were good times. Remember when Kyle called in? Remember when Kyle used to watch this show live?
I remember the moment where we were like, I think it was like 2009. We were doing calls, and I was like, okay, we're doing calls. All right, let's do it. Okay, fine. Do you think anyone will call? And then it was like,
and then everyone called.
No, it was like 4 people.
We got a lot of people
It wasn't
calling.
a lot, but it was more than we thought.
A lot more than we thought. But anyway, I just wanted to say it really meant a lot because I was really nervous, and this is a brand new thing. Blah blah blah. Like, would anyone call? Period.
Yeah, can you imagine if
I know exactly. That's what I mean.
Drew's like,
let's go to the phone lines, and then like crickets. But people call from everywhere, and they all almost every single
funny.
person was like, "Oh, watching. I've been on Cheesehead TV forever." Blah 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 blah. Like almost every call. So that meant.
Do you think they were
a lot.
listening on iHeartRadio app? Right.
I hope so.
That's
yeah,
cool.
they must have been.
My grandfather has the iHeartRadio app. I'm surprised he hasn't texted me. Let me. check. Nope,
My
he hasn't.
parents literally phoned me in the middle of the show asking where it was in Appleton. Like, I'm on the air. And they left me a voicemail like, where's your show? Gonna have to show Dad where, I think it's The Score in Appleton.
Yeah,
which
the Score.
Is
Yeah.
Gonna have to show him where that is on the dial.
For the top chat. Coming from LA this weekend. Nice. Best place to
Nice.
catch you. One day Nagler will do another tweet up.
Why do I got to do the tweet ups? Why can't you do the tweet ups? You should do a Behnke tweet up.
David Orioli. I'm from
Cali.
Cali, and our leggy boy is Weapon
X. Hey, all full circle. Throw up the X.
No.
What up, Dez? That's a shout out to Dez. His X has been retired. We got J.K. Scott, Weapon X.
Dez, you dropped it. Weapon X, I don't like it.
Aunt Gert for
I like-
GM. See,
I like-
these are smart people.
I like leggy boy, though. Leggy boy.
B-O-I.
Leggy boy.
Okay, we are rambling.
Okay, bye.
Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
That'll do it for this week's installment of Packer Transplants. We'd like to thank everyone who stopped by to chat with Packers with us. That's why Corey and I are here. We are and will always be devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide.
Hey, Winston, I'm sorry. Where is the Winston that has given us illumination and information in past press conferences? Did we do something that you're down on us again? But this was what, last week it didn't go very well, and we want to talk about your guys, and I'm not quite sure what you want from us to make that happen.
I can't help you.